What's up, people? Rev Avi checking in live. Gonna do a little fire offering here, then we'll go inside, have our magic quarantine talk. Not gonna play any music this time, just gonna play with fire. What's up? Let me re-dip my torches, hang on. So what's going on, everybody? We're gonna run inside. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. I'm gonna eat fire a little bit more and then I'll run inside and we'll get started, okay? All right, let's shoot inside. We'll get started with our magic quarantine talk. Hang on just a second, guys. Sorry, it's kind of a lot of stuff to carry in, so just bear with me. Okay, so in my chair over here. Actually, I'm going to change my shirt too. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. So, what's up, everybody? Okay. Sorry, I couldn't take that black shirt anymore with the fire. I was like sweating my ass off and getting eaten by mosquitoes and everything else. So, what's going on, people? Thank you. That is so cool. I'm seeing comments and stuff now. Thank you. Thank you. So, with that said, this is going to be another one of those kind of random nights. Man, I am sweating hard. This is going to be another one of those kind of random nights where I'm just going to sort of talk about some stuff and touch on some topics and answer questions, okay? So, thanks a lot, guys. I know it's I've been practicing a lot to develop those fire skills, okay? So, hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, let's break down some good old magic topics, talk about some real occult stuff. Why do I like playing with fire? Because I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign, you know. I really love fire. Like I said, it's really important to work with your element, you know, and to get in touch with those energies. So I really love fire. So with that said, let's see, what are we going to talk about tonight? Any ideas? Let me see. What should I start with? What should I talk about? Look at all this sweat, man. I'm like sweating bullets. It's hard work eating fire. My fucking energy is on like 10,000 right now. Okay. So since I'm not getting any responses, let's start sort of where we left off with talking about, you know, like astral projection and, you know, the understanding of reality and the mind and that sort of stuff. Okay. And how spirits come into play. Okay. So, one of the things that's kind of weird that I keep running into is people that are sort of stuck on ideologies. And I mean, those of you who know me, who have been on these lives and stuff like that, you know how I feel about ideologies. I don't do belief systems. I just absolutely cannot agree with them. They are absolutely not founded in any definite fact. It's just someone's idea of something. And I don't really deal in that. Okay. So I kind of got away from that because I can't wipe off enough of this sweat. I kind of got away from that because, you know, that's the norm with occult stuff is sort of getting books and, you know, getting different material and reading through it. And they give you a whole bunch of backstory, a whole bunch of ideologies and stuff like that. You might get maybe 3-4 rituals in a grimoire, you know, something you've paid hundreds of dollars for. And you still don't get any magic. It's just like, oh, okay, now you know some backstory, whether that's true or not, you have no idea. And then here you are lighting candles in the dark. Okay, so that's why I don't like dealing with ideologies. I only want stuff that I know works, that's practical and realistic. So with that said, I stay away from that stuff. Okay, so how does the spirits and stuff like that come into play when we start to try to understand, like, magic from this perspectives, from the mental universe perspective, okay? And that's the way you have to look at it, because if you look at those Hermetic laws again, those come from Egypt, you know. The first one is that the universe is mental, okay? So mind is infinite. So how does this cross over into dealing with gods and deities and spirits and that type of stuff? So let's touch on that, okay? The way it connects is via being able to manifest those things. Okay, for most people, especially when they're religious or start to have some kind of spiritual belief system, period, they go specifically like that. They just start believing and stuff. Oh, this sounds great. Being a Christian sounds fantastic. I really like, you know, the idea of being a Jehovah's Witness. I think I want to be that. Okay, so they just start believing in it. You know, they never question, you know, God. They never question gods. They never question lessons, never question anything. Okay. And that's where this path differs. Okay. Because you should be questioning everything. The minute the devil pops up in my house and says, I'm the devil, I'm Lucifer, I'm Satan. Okay. Bow before me, I'm pulling out my shotgun. Okay. Because I need to know that it's really him. I'm going to shoot him right in the face. I need to verify that he is who he says he is. I'm not going to just bow down and worship something because of something that it says. Okay, and that's where this the study of the occult becomes really, really powerful. Okay, because you have to study this stuff. You have to understand it. Okay. So, with that said, even when you're working in the ritual chamber, even when you're working with Ouija boards, even when you're doing whatever you're doing that has to deal with contacting spirits, you have to question them. You have to stand against them with a wall up and go, okay, oh, okay, so if you're Lucy Futurophi Cal, prove it. Okay, and that's it. You got to put them to the test, and if you don't, then you're not going to get that validation. You're not going to be able to build a real relationship. You're not going to know if you're talking to a all-powerful demon or just some wacko that died a couple days ago and managed to come through on your spirit board. Okay, so you really have to verify these things and sort of find an understanding and build a relationship with the entities that you want to work with. Okay, so like I was saying, this goes back to manifesting is when these things come into play. So in the realm of mental, when we start to have spiritual experiences and the gods manifest, the spirits manifest and whatnot, that's where this stuff becomes invaluable. Okay, that's where your spiritual experience will differ from people that are in churches, people that are doing whatever, whatever stuff they want to believe in. The minute you start getting that validation, okay, that validation, no one can dispute you. There's no argument, okay, because you have facts and it's not an idea. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Gods can manifest, but there's a scientific reason why they do, and I go out of my way to explain this in my books. Okay, both of them kind of break down this exactly why and how you can experience these things, and I think that's 100% where a lot of occult teachers, a lot of occult studies, a lot of groups and cults and shit like that just miss it. They totally miss the bullseye. They're aiming at the target, but they miss that bullseye of explaining why and how these things are possible. Okay? So let me scroll through some of these comments. I'm seeing some pop in here. Let me scroll back up. Cool. Yep. Very disappointing, Erica. Yeah, absolutely. Danielle, I feel like all of those books and some teachers and even people on YouTube just don't want to give you any information beyond a certain level. Danielle, that's right and wrong in a way. So some of them know. Some of them know about the magic, how it works, all the inner stuff, and they just won't tell you. So that's absolutely right. But it's also wrong because some of them are just believers and don't know a damn thing about anything. They're just lighting candles in the dark, and they want people to follow along with everything they say, They just want people to keep listening to them and keep buying their shit. They're just salespeople, okay? Kumba. Hey, what's up, Kumba? Where you been at? Look at you popping out of the woodwork. Danielle, I'm very weary of tricksters and imposters. Yeah, the problem is sorting through them. Okay, that's the real issue. You're lucky enough to have found your way here. I think you said Devin invited you, so she's awesome. She's one of my admins. There's not a lot of teachers like me. I keep it real. I'm a real person. I'm down to earth. Like I didn't get to shave today, but I really wanted to. But yeah, I'm down to earth, man. So a lot of people don't do that. They want you to. They put on those funny looking robes and shit. And I've got one. I've got a funny looking robe. Hang on, look, it's right here. Got one of those goofy ass looking robes with the hood and the buttons and the silver buttons, and I could look all like fucking the Grim Reaper of Magic Town, but who gives a shit? The robe doesn't make me special, okay? It's what's up here that's gonna get you where you need to go, okay? Larry, religion, at least in the U.S., is something most, at least, of my age were raised to believe, the Christian way. Indoctrinated from early in life and find it very difficult to stray from how they were taught. Yeah, that's exactly it, dude. I was talking about that. So you get brainwashed. People in religions get brainwashed. Okay, the minute you're believing in shit and you have no proof and stuff like that, you're just brainwashed. Okay, you're just following along blindly, just hoping for some afterlife that is probably not going to be there. Oh, wait, I take that back. The universe is mental, so it will be there. You'll be in a perfect state of blissful ignorance, okay? A lot of, and that's funny. That's funny because Christians are like always looking for heaven and stuff like that at the end of their life, and like their whole lives they're sinners. So like, how many of them are putting themselves in hell unintentionally? That is the funniest thing ever when you really think about it. If that's the case and they're supposed to be, mimicking Jesus, they're failing drastically. So they know they're all condemning themselves to hell by following that religion. Isn't that funny? Kumba, I got lucky. My mom always taught me to be a critical thinker of everything. That's good. Got to critical think. That's the only way. Coagulate and solve. I talked about that before. Um, so that's where it all connects, guys. It all comes into play. That's where this is different. Okay, if you're drawing circles and going through all the steps and trying to do rituals and that stuff and you're not getting any results, okay, that's because you're missing the critical step. You're missing the critical step of self. You're not getting it with yourself. There's a process that you have to go through, okay, to activate your subconscious mind. Now, you can accidentally do this with magic rituals and sitting around in the dark and stuff. It happens for some people. It happens. You can accidentally just, and hey, it works for me. So let me write a book about it. But the truth is even if you accidentally do it, you don't really understand it until somebody explains it to you the way that I do. Okay. You need people to break it down and really make perfect sense of this stuff. Why is this working? Why do magic spells work? How does the brain work, to make these things happen? You need to understand that kind of stuff. Even with spirits and communication, this is Danielle. With them, I think about if they're tricksters too. I remember you mentioning code words and building a relationship. Is there anything else that can be done to verify a spirit? So, outside of using code words and just constantly trying to conjure them and working with them and asking questions and stuff like that, there's really nothing you can do. And that's where that goes back to some of the other stuff I was talking about. Nobody's sitting at home with a fucking Ghostbusters spirit testing kit. Nobody can tell you, oh, you were definitely talking to Lilith. You were definitely talking to whatever, That's never going to happen. Nobody can ever do that for you. Okay? And so with that in mind, that's why you don't need to believe in anything. It doesn't even matter if you believe that spirits exist or gods exist or any of that. You could totally be atheist, still work magic, and still get results. Okay? You can still see spirits even if you don't believe in them. Surprise. Okay? You can still have dreams even if you don't believe in the astral realm. Okay? So this is something that has everything to do with the mind and nothing to do with what you believe. Okay? But as far as verifying goes, one of the things you can do is, like I said, just work with them a lot, build a relationship, ask questions. Okay? Ask a lot of questions. And I mean ask deep ones. If it's a god, if you're talking to a god, they should be able to answer any question that you have. They should know your entire life story. They should know everything about you. If they didn't, they could read your mind. These are gods we're talking about, right? So they should have the power to do those things. So you have to put them to the test, okay? Because there are tricksters and there are liars in the spirit world and outside of it, okay? Erica, my dad was Christian but an asshole. I did trust him. I didn't trust him or his religion. I used to ask God to bring me my toys, and he never did. So as a young child, I did not believe. That's funny. She says, I went along because I had to, but tells myself I'd figured out, then tell yourself you'd figure it out later. Yeah. So I understand that, like telling yourself, I'll just figure all this stupid shit out later and that type of stuff. And I went through that, when I was a teenager, my mom, when she found out I was into witchcraft and stuff, I told you I went through some shit, man. It's really more than any, me telling a story could really convey, okay, the struggle and the hard shit that I went through, okay, trying to tell people that, I was a witch or whatever my beliefs were at that time in my life. Even Wicca was like, that's the devil, there's no amount of words that can explain what I went through, okay? But I went through something similar where when I started telling people about, being able to read people's thoughts, and understanding how they were feeling and knowing stuff about people without ever meeting them before. Okay, I ended up in a psychiatric hospital. Okay, and they were talking about putting me on drugs and all of this different stuff and blah 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 blah. They tried it all. He's bipolar. He's got psychosis. He's this and this, and I just never took the pills. I never let them put me on medicine. I just refused to give in to that tyranny. Okay, and a funny thing sort of happened. It's like as I got older, I started to understand why I was having the experiences that I was. Okay, I started to understand why I was seeing the spirits, why I can understand, and then I understood something else. That doctors, their job is to sell medicine. They want to drug you. Okay, they're drug dealers. They just want to drug you. So there was no need for me to be on any of those pills. The depression I was facing was directly the result of shit that I was facing in my life. Okay, the sadness I felt was direct result of shit I was facing in my life. You're supposed to feel sad. You're supposed to feel different emotions. So you can be mad one second and be happy the next. That's what the human being is supposed to do. Okay. And the stupidest thing ever, and then I was talking about this with somebody, is them telling people they're bipolar. Of course we are. We're fucking people. Okay? It's kind of, I mean, it's really kind of ridiculous, guys. And I'm not undermining all doctors and saying don't go to a doctor and stuff. I don't like them personally. That's like my last thing I want to do is go to a fucking doctor for anything. Okay? But, I mean, I do go to doctors. I mean, obviously I got to stay healthy. I got a bunch of kids and stuff like that. So we go to doctors, And I'm not saying all medicines are bad either. But when it comes to psychologists in particular, that shit changes too frequently for you to just let them put you on some pills because they want to, Psychology has changed way too much, and they still don't understand the mind and the brain 100% to be trying to give people medicine for anything. Just keep that in mind. Like, not long ago, they were giving people shock therapy and drilling holes in their fucking heads trying to get the demons out. So, let's not jump on that bandwagon too quickly, okay? She says, this is Erica. She says, my dad was paranoid and beat us to save us. He thought that would get us to heaven. You know what? I'm not even going to finish reading that because that's way too sad. And I went through something similar to that. And I don't even want to go there. I'm just going to keep it real. So I'm going to keep on scrolling. Okay. But yeah, I can definitely relate to that. You know what I'm saying? On a deep, deep level. That's like the black family thing to do. Just beat their ass, So, yeah. But, with all of this stuff, dude, like as I aged and read and learned and stuff like that, you start to realize that you're not the fucking one that's crazy. Other people are. Okay? You start to realize that, you start to be able to understand, what's going on with yourself and stuff like that. And I think that's super duper important. That's why you got to do the work on self. Hang on. Larry says, back in the day, I was a wholehearted believer in everything the Christian way. Yeah, and then after quite a bit of praying and hoping Jesus wouldn't let my loved one die. Damn. She did, and that was the end, I'm sure. Fuck, man. I can't even read this out loud. Dude. Yeah, dude. I can relate to that, Larry. Like, it's just some stuff where it's like, come on, man. Look at Sarah. She says, they do shock therapy. It's different now and doesn't hurt. Yeah, that's what they say. But I can't imagine shooting electricity in somebody's body that doesn't hurt. Okay? I've got a TENS unit less than 10 feet away from me. Okay? And that's literally like you put the little electrodes on and then you can set your own megahertz or how much you want it to zap you in order to stimulate muscles or relax muscles or exercise the muscles or whatever. Okay? And if I put that bitch on 10, it hurt. So you can't tell me that that fucking shock therapy don't hurt. I'm sorry. I can't even believe that for a second that it doesn't hurt. That's just bullshit. That's like them saying, oh, shots don't hurt. That's the fuck it does. You're sticking a needle deep in my arm. They reach the vein. That shit hurts. You know? And I've got tattoos every fucking hurt. Okay? So, I mean, but trying to get back on topic, you know, with the occult stuff, you know, outside of the crazy ass doctors and all, and the struggle and all of that stuff, man. You got to be realistic with this stuff. People are just out there with this shit. They will tell you any fuck. They talking to aliens. They talking to demons. They're talking to fucking, you know, Buddha. They're talking to fucking Krishna. You name it. There's somebody's out there talking to them right now. Sarah says, I hate this happens to me because I can't see. I grew up Christian and was brainwashed into thinking only one way in religion. I feel bad sometimes for not staying on the path, but I know it's just making me feel bad because Christianity was so instilled in me when I was young. That brainwashing is so severe. Christianity is a form of abuse. Okay, that's what it has evolved into. It didn't start out that way. Okay, but now it's abuse. It's to the point where, you know, like, it was abuse for me when I was a kid because I couldn't sleep at night. I was too scared to sleep at night, you know, go to the bathroom and shit like that because I thought the devil was out there, you know? I knew he was out there, you know? There's no... I really, you know, I shouldn't even have to talk too much about how crazy it is. But it really is. It's abuse, man. It's child abuse. Most tangible help of a spiritual nature, more than any right-hand path shit. Yeah. So with that said, let's try to get back on topic, guys. Let's get off the negative stuff, okay, and try to get back on topic. So with that said, okay, with all of that being said, okay, you have to be realistic. And I'm the realist. I'm a realist first. I'm the realistic occultist, and you don't come across a lot of those, okay? I'm the realist first. I'm a Satanist, Luciferian, occultist, all that shit second, okay? And you got to understand that the way that you learn is by practicing, okay? You have to practice. And through practice, you will get validation, either on things that do work, things that don't work, what's bullshit, what's not bullshit. Try drawing the circle by itself. Try drawing, don't draw the circle at all. Try making it out of different shit. See what works. Okay, write your fucking name in a circle and see if that helps you do some shit. You have to try different things out and find out what works for you. Okay, it's gonna, and what'll happen is if you keep trying different stuff, you'll start to figure out that almost anything works because it has nothing to do with any of that shit. It has nothing to do with the circles or the candles or the incense and stuff. You know, the magic starts in you. Okay. The magic starts in you. The 7 sins are designed to block the 7 chakras. That sounds like some idealistic bullshit. I'm sorry, I can't even get on that boat. I don't see how that even makes sense. I'm sorry. I can't even get on that boat, dude. 7 chakras, 7 planets, 7 colors. I get the synchronizations. I talk about it all the time. But I can't even get on that 7 sins boat and try to bring that into a cult. I'm not acknowledging the Bible, okay, or any of that shit as any valid occult knowledge, okay? They want to say it's factual history. Come on. Factual fucking history? No, I don't think so, okay? But I'm definitely not taking it and applying it to any of my occult knowledge at all. I'm just going to look completely past that book because we know what the book is. Okay, we know it's a bunch of stolen stories. We know it's from a bunch of lying ass pieces of shit. So why consider anything in the book at all? Why not just say the whole book is bullshit and just burn it all together? Let's just get past all the Bible references and everything that has to do with it. Okay, we don't need it. People did magic long before they had access to candles and circles. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I talk about that, Danielle. Actually, I talk about that a lot, you know. The fact is, you know, we didn't start with having language at all. Okay, there was no language, spoken language, written or otherwise. You know, and we still had magic. We still were able to make things happen. Okay, um, I get what you're saying, Joseph. The church created it to block the chakras, and yeah, ideology. Again, prove it. You can't prove any of that shit. It's just bullshit. Um, Sarah, what's your favorite book that's got good info on a cult besides the one that I wrote? Honestly, I mean, it's one of those things where it's not in one book. Okay, that's why I had to write one myself, because there was no book for me to say, hey girls, you know, if something should happen to dad, go grab these books off the shelf and it'll tell you everything you need to know about magic. There just wasn't one. Okay, so I had to structure a book that I felt touched on all the things you really needed to know, bare bones, to work the magic. Okay, and then I wrote the second book because I felt like the first book didn't touch enough on the inner understandings of the mind. Okay, so my second book goes on how to make the magic from being just ritual stuff, okay, and conjuring and stuff like that, to taking it out in the real world and casting spells on people live in person. Okay, right there. So this is something that nobody else does. You know, that nobody else ever written a book like that, and nobody teaches it the way that I do. So honestly, I can't recommend a book that's anything that has all the information. You have to get it from various sources. You have to look at scientific studies. Okay, and then after you get past the scientific studies, you start looking at a bunch of the occult stuff. Okay, you're gonna notice a lot of same stories and similar gods and all of that stuff there. Okay, then you start to connect dots. And that's the way this is working. You connect dots. You start with Samaria, and then you try to go from what we understand as being the beginning of time, which is somewhere in Samaria. And then we work our way to present time while trying to make sense of everything. That's really the only way you can get it. There's no fave books or anything like that, okay? So, and then if you want to find my books, they're in the announcements. The links are in the announcements, or you can get them directly from me, PDF. Okay, if you want to get prints, it's on lulu.com. Get the link in the announcements, okay? Both of my books are on Lulu, or you can get them from me and get a PDF. Erica, it's great. I have it. Worth it. Thank you. I've been getting nothing but great reviews for my book. I mean, I'm really trying to get people to start talking about it in a group and stuff, or you know, I try to get people on Lulu, but apparently you can't leave a review on there. Um, but yeah, if you guys could leave reviews, the people that have my books, you know, so other people know, tell people about them, that would be fantastic, you guys. You know, I never really planned to become an author, you know, to write books or teach or any of this stuff. It kind of just got it got thrown on me, you know. Danielle, the same stories with changed names for each region. Yep, or each religion. Region, religion. That both of those answers were right. But yeah, that's what it is. You know, he runs to the same God, same story, same makeup, same shit over and over and over and over again. They're telling the same story. Okay, until they adopt it into this Bible that they force on everybody in the U.S. like crazy. Um, but the fact is, you know, it's all just stories. It's all just stories. You know, stories are just that. They're stories. You shouldn't be going, oh, I heard this story and it's 100% true just because you heard it. You know, that's not the way it works. But yeah, so that's, I mean, being able to apply this stuff in the real world is where, you know, my teaching's different from everyone else's. I just got to be honest on that. Ask some people. You know, they have my books. Erica's got a copy of my at least one of my books. There's a lot of people in the group have copies of my book. You know, just make a post in the group or something. Ask questions. You know, don't just listen to it coming from me. I mean, the truth is I've never seen any other books that talk about the stuff the way that I do. You know, and then my new book, Mesmerism, forget it. I don't think you're ever going to see another person write a book like that unless they get mine and then try to copy off a similar pattern. And because truthfully is what I did was is I just took all my knowledge of hypnotherapy and stuff like that and I put it in a book and I relate it to how to use it in a magical way for witches. And I don't think anybody's ever done that. Erica, yep, he's right. It's changed my life already, and I'm just starting. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, guys. I really appreciate your feedback and everything. It's really affecting me, guys. It makes me feel special, man. Like I'm not just doing this for no reason. So that's fantastic, man. I never planned on having so many people, kind of liking what I wrote. I didn't plan for that at all. And if you don't believe me, ask Joseph, because I was like, didn't even know what to write in the book at one point. And then at one point, it was like the Book of the Serpent was all that I had. And it was just about chakras. And that book grew to over 400 pages. Lucifer just kept sending information in my brain. He just kept downloading information. Hey, for some reason, you need to study the pyramid at Giza. Okay. And then I came up with a whole chapter and an understanding of pyramid frequency and pyramid energy and all this stuff that I never knew before. I was learning while writing the book. It was the craziest shit. Oh, you're welcome, Kumba. You're welcome. She says ever since I did the hypnosis, she's been sleeping so well. Um, yeah, Joseph did kind of convince me to write the book. I wasn't gonna do it at first, but I mean that wasn't all. I kind of needed to write it for my daughters, which was the real reason. But I didn't want to publish, and he kept saying, "Just publish it. Just publish it." And I wasn't going to make it public because honestly, I didn't want all the scrutiny and feedback from fucking churches and all of that bullshit that comes when you go public about being a Satanist. Rebecca Gravel. I've been studying the occult for a lot of years and been a hermit. This communing with like minds is new to me. It's new to a lot of us. It's new to me too. Like I said, I never planned for any of this. So it's new to all of us. I don't think a lot of people openly talk about this stuff and have, genuine people they can talk to that are, really out there trying this stuff. That's why I started this group. Okay. I wanted a group where there were real practitioners, real people out there doing this shit that could talk with each other, make friends with each other, and then get together and we could talk about what works, what doesn't work. We could hone our skills. I really would like to change the face of what people think, okay, of what people think Satanism and left hand path occultism is. I want to restructure that understanding. Okay, and I think it really can be done if we start to apply the magic in the way that I talk about doing it in my second book. If we take the mesmerism and the witchcraft and we apply it in a positive therapeutic way for people, okay, we could go out and cast spells on people and make them feel better, stop their pain. Okay, you could there's so many different things that you can do. It's almost boundless once you get creative with it. Okay, there's so much good that you could do in the world with this stuff. Okay, that if we all really got the concepts and went out and were practicing these things in the real world, okay, it would be a total different outlook on what witchcraft is altogether. Okay, I mean, witches were once known as the healers. The shamans, the witches, the priests, the higher spiritual people were known as the healers at once upon a time. There were no doctors. Okay, you had to go to the witch doctor. You had to go to the witch. You had to go to the shaman. You had to go to the priest to get healed. Okay, and I feel like we could resurge that same energy with what witchcraft is instead of making it into some fucking ideological bullshit. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I see the demon Andres likes to hang out and linger after evocation. Is the lesser banishing efficient as a general banisher for all energies? Asen, if you banish one of the gods and you think they ain't going to be mad, you are lying to your damn self. Okay. One, they're inside and outside of you. Okay. Understand that first. You cannot banish something that's already inside of you. Okay. Banishing rituals are retarded. Okay. They don't really do anything. Okay. What they do is give you the sense of being protected. Because once you conjure something, you've conjured it. Okay. Once you open the floodgate, the water's coming out. There's no, oh shit, I poked a hole in the fucking, I poked a hole in the goddamn dam. Let me plug that back up. No, all the water's coming through. Okay. So once you summon it, you've summoned it. Okay. There's no banishing it at that point. I mean, you can give yourself the false security of thinking that you banished it, or thinking you pushed it away, or thinking you have some kind of super shield up. But the truth is all of the 72 demons are in here and out there. So there's no banishing it. Okay. Now you can clean an area. So let's say other living people, okay, or people that were once alive have been in an area, okay. People give off life force when they touch things. They leave an energy there, okay. Their emotional energy gets stuck on that thing, okay, that they touch. If they wear something for a long time that has emotional value, if they live somewhere, their energy gets in that place. It gets on that stuff, okay. So you could neutralize the life force energy that's left over in a place, okay. That you can do. You can neutralize negative energy that's left over in a place, okay. But you cannot banish a god. That does not work that way. And keep in mind, all demons are gods. People are confused about that, but the title demon comes from the church, okay? Comes from the church, based off the original Latin word daemon, which included an A, okay? But the word demon comes from the church, and their definition is anything that is not the one monotheistic God that they believe in is a demon. So therefore, every other god is a demon. Okay? But going back to that Latin word, let's touch on that too. Daemon means bringer of knowledge. Okay? So, tap into the demon, get the knowledge. Okay? They must already be in there. All right? I have those big ass hoop pentagrams. I don't know what she's talking about. Yeah. Okay. Let me scroll down. I'm not seeing questions. I keep my nails black and wear jewelry, and my head is shaved. LOL makes an impression. Yeah. So people become gods. Let's touch on this too. Humans become gods. This has always been the way. Okay. There was no other way. Okay. Back in Egypt, back in ancient times, humans became gods. The kings were seen as being in contact with the gods, okay, or whatever. When that king died, they erected a huge statue and still worshipped him, just like a god. Okay, people have always become gods. Okay, that's why they look like human beings. Okay, and then the Egyptians were so clever that they figured out, hey, you know what? Animals are powerful too. And they blended them together. Then they took people and animals and made them into gods together. Okay? Um, Joseph, comes from ancient Greece, actually means high divine entity. I'd like to see some proof on that, because every definition of the word demon I've ever seen, or daemon, is from a Latin. Well, it does come from a Greek. It is a Greek word, but it still means bringer of knowledge. I've never seen a high divine entity. I've always seen bringer of knowledge as the definition of that word. Danielle, are you noticing how mainstream witchcraft has become? Actually, what people think is magic and think they know enough to teach about. I'm disturbed when I go into a well-known makeup store, oh my god, and see a witchcraft eyeshadow palette that comes with a few crystals and fucking glitter. Yeah. So mainstream occult now has become a giant money-hungry cow. They don't care about any. It's just like everything else. It's just a commercial. It's just a way for them to make money now. I don't think that half of these guys that are writing books even give a shit about what they're writing anymore. They're just waiting for the next thing that seems like it's going to be catchy to write about. Okay, I don't think that they, even believe in half the shit they write. They're just writing something that seems like it's interesting to the reader. Okay. But yeah, it's just a huge fucking money sucking cash cow now, dude. Honestly, it's sad. It's really sad what's becoming of occult studies and stuff like that. You can't really find too many books that teach those inner, like I said, the inner understandings, the mind, and stuff. What is the process that you need to go through to make this shit work? You know, you're not going to find a lot of books like that. But yeah, so with that said, guys, I think I've been on for almost an hour. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I am going to wrap it up here. Give you guys a second to ask questions. I'm going to smoke this ganja. Asen. So how do I prevent a possession after evocation? My roommate was affected by Andra's energy in my home. He was acting a little nuts after I did my Evo. So, dude, listen really carefully, okay? So, invocation, okay, involves the energy coming into a person, okay? Evocation involves you manifesting that energy outside of yourself so that you can experience it, okay? If your roommate was there from the beginning of your evocation, then perhaps he could have experienced some of the similar spirit phenomena. If he wasn't, there should not be a reason he's experiencing anything odd unless you're giving that vibe off to him, okay? So with evocation, it's simply a manifestation of you being able to experience the spirit, okay? If someone was to bust in a room, and I talked about this before, while you were doing, if you're doing an evocation, they wouldn't see shit. And with candles and incense, talking to yourself, okay? So with that in mind, understand that all energy that that person could possibly be experiencing is getting directly channeled through you. Okay, so that means you're acting weird. You're giving that energy off. Somehow, you're conveying that something strange is going on. Okay, that's the only way that they would have been able to be affected by the energy. Otherwise, they would not have been aware of it. Okay. Now with possession, and let's talk about possession because I talked about this in one of the other lives. With possession, that is the highest form of invocation, not evocation. Okay. Possession is the highest form of invocation. So that means you come into possession of that energy, okay, of that current. It becomes a part of you, okay? And it's not something where it necessarily takes you over, but the energy takes you over. You feel it at every part of you, it becomes a part of you, okay? So there's nothing to be afraid of. No one's going to get possessed. The way the movies and possessions and exorcism and all that shit is some bullshit. You got to understand that. So, I'll tell you how I know it's bullshit because I've given people false exorcisms before. Okay, you can hypnotize somebody or just tell them they got a demon. Okay, and it's the same thing. Hypnosis and telling someone something suggesting is the same thing. So we're gonna tell someone they have a demon. You know they believe in the devil, right? So you're gonna tell them they got a demon. You're gonna tell them it's inside them. You're gonna tell them something's wrong, and then they're gonna start to feel it. Okay, it's gonna get in their head. They're gonna start to feel it. It's gonna manifest, and then you can do your exorcism where you come with the Bible and the holy water, and goddamn, get ready because they're gonna the demon, you know, it's coming. They're gonna react the way they think they should react with getting a demon out. Okay, so it's all fucking brainwashing. Okay, there's no monsters waiting to jump inside somebody and fucking take them over like in the movies. That's complete bullshit, dude. Okay. On the next live, it would be awesome if you could talk about the differences between evocation and invocation. It's used interchangeably in many books. Now, in any books now, okay, I'll just go ahead and touch on it now. Okay. So I talked about invocation and evocation before, but really, and this is just really fast understanding of it because it's not something you need to talk about for an hour. Okay. Invocation is specifically that bringing energy in. Okay, you're summoning it into you. Okay, you want to feel it. You're trying to get inside of you. That's the whole point. Evocation is I want to see a spirit. I want to see what I'm talking to. I want to experience it externally. Okay, outside of myself. That is evocation. That's it. That's the only difference. Okay. Either way, you're still connecting with the same energies. You just want it to do two different things. So you could start with invocation. Oh, I'm summoning it all into myself. And then evoke. I changed my mind. I think I want it to be outside of me. You could absolutely do that during ritual. There's no, it's not like, oh, because I started an invocation, I have to only invoke. Absolutely not. You could decide, hey, you know what? I think I want to have a conversation with Lucifer instead. And then evoke him. You could absolutely do that. There's no rule that says you can't do that. Sarah, mind is everything. It is. Mind is everything. Okay? So with that said, guys, I hope I answered your questions. Okay? I hope I help you guys get some real solid understanding about stuff. You know, I'm washing away the clouds. I'm trying like a fucking motherfucker to wash away all the bullshit, all the clouds, and get you guys some serious understanding with this stuff. Okay? So even though I know you guys got grimoires, I told you I'll download the files and stuff before I erase them all out of there and stuff like that. But understand that with those books, with everything you read it with a level of scrutiny. Okay, you have to. You can't just dive in and say, this is the best Lucifer story I've ever heard. I think I want to believe this one. And that's the same damn thing everyone else in religions are doing. You're not doing anything differently because you chose Lucifer to believe in. Okay? Danielle, I hear evocation being mistaken, though, for goetic ceremonies and King Solomon-style magic. So, let me touch on that. Danielle, the goetic system, okay, the goetic system is the same exact thing. It's ceremonial magic, evocation, high magic ritual. The idea of conjuring a spirit outside of yourself is the goetic ceremony, okay? The only difference about the stuff that's in the Goetia versus other left-hand path books by like Michael Ford or something like that is you don't have circles with God names. They don't tell you to summon up a bunch of angels and to be scared of the demon and stay inside the circle and then try to banish them all away at the end because you're still scared of the demons, okay? Here's the problem with goetic conjurations. They work. That's the huge problem. Because not only do they work, you're terrified from the moment you even think about doing one, okay? They invoke fear before you even start. You're already invoking fear by drawing angel names to make a circle that's going to protect you from the thing you're summoning. That feeds into fear right there. So it's a huge game of fear. You're scared of the demon. You got to protect yourself from the demon. Why the fuck are you summoning it? Okay, why don't you just go ask God for what you want instead of doing all this shit you know you ain't supposed to be doing? The truth is Solomon, Sol, Am, An are three words that all mean sun. Sol means sun, Am means sun in Hindi, okay, and then An, the word O-N, An, means sun in Egyptian. Okay, it's sun, 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 666, Solomon. Okay, so absolutely it works because you're tapping into that universal energy and stuff like that. By doing the ritual itself, it causes the trance, it causes the blah, 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 which makes stuff happen, but you're doing it through fear. So you set yourself up for a huge trap, okay? Okay, hang on. Exactly. You're told to restrain the demon and threaten with God names. Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid. If you were a demon, okay, keep in mind, they're all gods. If you were an ancient god and somebody come to conjure you and then they spitting all these fucking new age god names at you, how would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? Okay? In the fucking story, I'm finna tear up the first motherfucker that I got to show up for in the conjuration. Okay, so with that said, guys, you know, you got to use some discerning power. You have to think about this stuff. It makes no fuck. Some of the stuff they tell you to do makes no fucking sense at all. No fucking sense at all. Christians shouldn't be summoning demons. What the fuck are you doing summoning demons? What are you doing? I mean, it doesn't say witchcraft gets you put in hell. I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible. What the fuck are you doing? You know? You have no business messing around with that Goetia in the first place, unless you're a damn Satanist. Okay? Unless you're on the left-hand path. You have no business fucking around with that in the first place. So yeah, you don't need all of that stuff to make it work. Honestly, I mean, the reason the circles and stuff like that work is because they put you in that trance state. Okay, taking the time to draw tedious fucking circles on the ground and shit you probably will never draw perfectly. Okay, forget it. Okay, on the floor takes forever. Sitting there drawing anything puts you in trance. Okay, by the time you get done drawing that shit, you already in trance. And then by the time you try to repeat all them fucking words, you don't know what the fuck they are. You're even in deeper trance because you like confuse the shit out yourself. Confusion is a way to put somebody in trance. So you confuse the fuck out yourself trying to say these magic spells that you can't remember. Okay. And then by the time you get to the actual demon appearing and all of that stuff, you know, your mind's fucking freaked out, dude. And that's it. It's a complete trap. So, with that said, yeah, guys, it's been fun. Much love. I've been on actually for a whole hour now. So much love. It's been fun, and I will see you guys in the next one, all right?